Hello everyone, and karibuni tena to this segment of wellness, patient care, patient. Yani, APV, today we are going to talk about, last week we talked about
patients' rights.
Patients' rights.
Yes.
Yeah, this is Irene Ogong'o. I'm Naita Tieno, aka Sharon Onyango. And we have this segment now talking to people about their rights and responsibilities when navigating our healthcare system.
Yes.
Cynthia.
Yes.
Irene, I say this every week, but please tell us again about the organization that you work with, the two organizations that you actually work with.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I run two organizations.
Yes.
One is Nurses in Africa.
Yes.
And we empower nurses so that they can be able to work better in the healthcare system, so that we give better results to the patient.
Yes.
The other organization is Patient Support Services Africa.
Yes.
And we guide patients so that they can be able to navigate our healthcare system, get good services without getting frustrated, to save money, to save time, and best of all, to get the best possible outcome. Yes.
Good. And you said Nurses in Africa? To empower nurses.
Nurses, yeah. So we train nurses, we mentor nurses, just so that they can be able to work in an environment where they feel, like they can be the lead. So that they can be able to provide the best care to the patient.
So basically, guys, this is all about letting you know, when you go to a doctor, what should you expect? Before you go to a doctor, how should you prepare? Once you've gone to the doctor and maybe you did not have a chance to ask the right questions, how do you then go about getting that information that you need? Once you've left a facility, if you haven't got the information, who do you go to? If you weren't able to get that information there, and you report to you guys, Patient Support Services Africa, then you guys can be able to help them to get that information that they need before and even after they visit these facilities, before and even after they visit these doctors. Cynthia? And also just allowing them to know that there's someone out here fighting for you.
Exactly.
You're not alone.
You're not alone.
I should have been a lawyer.
She should have been a lawyer. She should have made a very good one. It's not too late.
And it is not my portion. I like to build muscle too much. So basically, what we're talking about, what we've talked about before, was introducing yourself and the organizations. Last week we talked about patients' rights. And the rights we talked about were rights to respect and dignity, rights to information, confidentiality, quality of care, and the right to refuse care. For those who didn't watch that, please go back and watch that video. It's so enlightening. And enlightening. Okay. And today, for every right, there are responsibilities, and that's what we're going to be talking about today. So mimi kama the debating on this side, nitavuka sakafu hapa. I will leave it to Miss Irene Ogong'o, because she's the expert in this, to let us know about, we've talked about our rights, but what are our responsibilities as patients?
And it's very important that you know that you have responsibilities. Because one of the biggest problems we have is people walking into a healthcare system to seek services, and then you want everything to be done the way you want them to be done, without taking cognizance of what is around you. You're not the only one there. It's a whole organization. Did you bring what you were supposed to bring? But in your mind, you're thinking, nimekuja, niko na do, ebu take care of me. Meanwhile, there's some other things that you should have done you didn't do. So that's what we want to talk about.
Okay.
The one I'll start with, that we all know, but somehow iko na huku nyuma, is you have the responsibility to take care of your health. Sasa hapo najua mtaanza kusema sometimes
self-care,
stress, self-care. Your nutrition. Are you smoking? Are you drinking? Are you exercising? All these things people know. But how we decide to prioritize them is the issue. But I'm sure as someone who's in the wellness industry,
yes,
you know that this is something that then sets your pace in terms of healthcare.
Of course.
If the first thing is not right,
yes,
you'll probably spend a lot of your time in the healthcare system trying to get services for one thing or the other.
There's something we say in the wellness industry. If you don't eat your food like medicine, kula mboga, yes, kula apples. If you don't eat those foods that you think are not so palatable, yes, you will eat eventually your medicine like food.
And it's happening,
you know,
so much.
So you will end up diabetes, high blood pressure, gout, heart disease. So eventually you will have 50 pills a day instead of having had mboga 7 days a week.
Yes, that's true. It's actually interesting. In the Facebook live sessions I normally hold,
yes,
on Saturdays with Zydus Hospital,
yes,
everything we have talked about, we keep zeroing back on nutrition.
100%.
Keep zeroing back on physical activity.
Yes.
Everything. Diabetes, hypertension, cancer, liver disease.
Yes.
All those things. Even unforgetfulness, we spoke about it the other day.
Yes, yes.
Nutrition.
Exactly.
Everything. So
yes,
if you don't take care of that, then every other thing tumbles.
Exactly.
So number 2, you have the responsibility to respect other patients.
Yes.
And care providers.
Exactly.
So I know that one of the rights was you have the right to respect and dignity.
Yes.
But you also have a responsibility to respect the other patients.
Yes.
And the care providers.
Exactly.
So many times we hear about patients who, whether it's by default or by design,
yes,
slapped somebody, a medical provider.
Yes.
Or the patients who then feel like, niko na pesa, so when I come, why should I queue like the rest of you?
Yes.
Mimi najua mpaka mwenye hiyo hospitali, najua mwenye hospitali.
Yes. My sickness is more important than yours because I have more money than you.
Thank you. So all those things,
yes,
when you get there,
yes,
can you abide by the rules and the regulations of that place?
Yes.
We know you're sick, and the care providers are empowered to know who is going to be taken care of first.
Yes.
In case you didn't know, it's not first come, first serve in the
priority.
Hospital. It is not first come, first serve.
Yes.
Because I know that's normally the issue.
Yes.
Oh, I've been sitting here for however long, nobody has talked to me.
Yes.
Granted, there's a problem when they don't tell you why you're still sitting there.
Yes, yes.
But in the hospital, it's not first come, first serve. It's about whose life needs to be saved first.
That's it.
So if you don't have a life-threatening issue,
exactly,
you may have to wait for longer.
Yes.
And we are working with the hospitals to help them to communicate with you better,
yes,
so that they can be able to tell you, you know, you'll be here for longer than this because of ABCD.
Yes.
So please try to be cool, calm, and collected.
Yes.
And wait for your turn.
Exactly.
There's a logical way of why your turn is not now.
Yes. Yeah. And also, when you wait for an excessive amount of time, just go politely and ask the receptionist, yes, or the person who's that frontline person. And remember, it's not the frontline person who determines who is seen first. It is the medics. So when you attack the receptionist, you know,
oh my God,
it's you're attacking the wrong person.
Yes.
It's just best to say, hey, look, I have been waiting for X amount of time. I don't think it's on because that person came after me, na wameenda before me. Mbona wameenda before me. Most of the time when you approach people with respect and dignity, they will give it back. They will then tell you, huyo ameonwa first because kesi yake ilikuwa more urgent. Sometimes people don't look as sick as you think they are.
Yes, that's true.
You know, and also for yourself who's waiting, if you feel like your symptoms are getting worse, go and say, I feel like I'm getting worse while I'm sitting here and other people are cutting the line. I feel like now I came with a stomachache and I'm feeling dizzy. So you have, your case has accelerated while you were waiting.
Yes.
So you might even be seen first before somebody who came before you, because now your case is more urgent than their case.
Yes.
You see what I mean? But it's communication both ways.
It is communication.
Cindy?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so your third responsibility, which nobody ever wants to hear, you have the responsibility to pay your bills. Yes, I dare to say it. If you stepped foot there, it meant that you knew what you were stepping your foot into.
Yes.
So you have the responsibility to pay that bill.
Yeah.
Now, how do you make sure that you don't step your foot where you shouldn't?
Yes.
That is why we have such a service, patient support services.
Yes.
Because we help you to define, to get options of where I can go for this service and what the price is.
Yes.
Price, versus the care they give you.
Yes.
Sometimes cheap is not really the best thing.
Yes.
But there's a way you can logically look at pricing, quality of care, and still be able to afford it. So we can be able to help you to do that. That being said, if you go there, half the time, all the cases you hear, or see on TV, we went there, then the bill escalated. Now we are coming to the public to ask them to help us to go and get our person out. You signed it. You said, I am going to pay the bills. And that is why they say, on a daily basis, it is best practice to ask for your bill. On a daily basis.
Nowhere palumefika.
Yes. Tell them, what is my bill for today?
Yes.
Sit down with whoever. This, whatever scan was done. Yes. Whatever diagnostic, I don't remember this being done.
Yes.
But sometimes they charge for something that they didn't do.
The doctor wrote, but you were never given that service.
Yes.
Or it was not needed. Or the doctor wrote, came back, it hadn't been done. Akasema, we can proceed without it.
Yes.
So if your person was written for an MRI, for example, and the doctor comes back and the x-ray that they did today is sufficient, but you were supposed to go for the MRI tomorrow.
Yeah.
So you don't need to go for the MRI. However, because already it was on your notes, the person who does the finances will come and see, alendikiwa MRI. They'll charge for it. Yeah.
Yeah. And if you stay in a hospital for, say, 30 days.
Yes.
I mean, it's not good that people stay for that long, but it happens.
Yes.
If you stay for that long, can you imagine trying to go through the bill? You will not remember everything.
Yes.
You will not remember.
So have notes.
Yes.
Yeah.
So even it's your right to get your bill every day.
Yes.
They'll print it if you ask for it. If you don't, it's good for them.
Yes.
Because they'll keep it until the last day and surprise you with it.
Yes.
So ask for your bill every single day.
Yes.
What's my bill for today?
Yes.
And then look at it.
Yes.
And try to get information, as much as information as you can get from the nurse or the doctor that's seeing your patient, so that you know what's the plan of care. If, for example, my mom is in hospital today and they want to do MRI, somebody needs to call me and confirm that I can pay for it.
Yes.
Because if I can't afford it, you can't do it.
Yes.
So that's where the problem normally is. They will write, and do them anyway because they know you don't know that they should ask you. You should be able to consent to these kind of things.
Yes.
So that even when they're going to do it, in your mind you know, okay, they need to do this. This is this much.
Yes.
Do I have another option?
Yes.
Because if I am Irene International Hospital, of course there's no such hospital.
Yes.
But Irene International Hospital, when I take my patients to night diagnostics, kuna vile tunaambiananga, charge this way, charge that way.
Yes.
Kila mtu goes home happy.
Yes.
But you can also take that your patient for MRI in Hospital C, where it's cheaper. So you should be able to have those options.
Yes.
But they will not give you the options.
Yes.
It will just be, your patient needs ABCD, take them.
Yeah.
And they're taken to wherever they're done, you charge for it.
Yes.
Did you know they even charge you for the ambulance that carries your patient to
wherever? I think it's about 6K.
Yeah. So those are hidden charges. So you have to be on top of things.
Yes.
So before you sign there that I will pay the bill, can you find out, one, will you be calling me with all your orders for what you need to do?
Yes.
So that I can consent and say, yes, I will pay for this or not.
Or not. Yes.
And two, that they will give you your bill on a daily basis.
That's it.
There's internet, so hakuna cha kuprint.
Yes.
Tell them,
send an email.
At the end of the day, send me an email with my bill versus what the doctor asked for today.
Yes.
Let me correlate these things.
That's it.
Yeah.
Okay. And also, if your patient is compos mentis, so they're not in ICU.
Compos, then
they're able to. Yani, they have all their senses, all their wits about them. Yes. If they have all their wits about them, check with them every day.
Yes.
You know, some patients are vulnerable, like elderly patients with dementia and things like that. They will not always remember what has been done for them. In which case, as you were saying, it's your responsibility to say, do not do anything with our relative unless there's someone here to consent and be present in when they are taken to these things. Because number one, this is a vulnerable person that should not be leaving this hospital without a family member, because we don't trust you.
Simple.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's simple. It's your right to say that. They won't stop treating your person because you have indicated. As long as you say it in a respectful way, as you were saying, there's no point abusing the medical staff. They do not make policy.
No.
Usually that person you're abusing is so low down the pecking order that they can be fired today and someone else is waiting to get that job.
That is very
true. You see? So you going in on all guns blazing and making their life a misery is not helping you as a patient, because then you're branded as that problem patient.
Oh, you'll be handed over as a problem patient.
You know.
At the nurse's desk. It's like, Pale would be.
I know. Maybe I can share the whole scene. And it's not just in Kenya. One time I went into a hospital. I'm being treated. One nurse has handed me over as a... No, it wasn't a hospital. It was a police station. Sorry. we were arrested because we had a broken windscreen. Yeah. I was driving my cousin's car, so I wasn't aware that this had not been reported, because I asked her, has this been reported and dealt with? She told me yes. I was stopped by the police. I said, it's my cousin's car. She's reported it. Yes. Hannah abstract. So obviously, I have been subsequently arrested and taken, or detained and taken with the car to the police station. They cannot detain me personally, but they can detain the car. Yes. So obviously I have to drive the car there, lock it, and go.
Yeah.
So I was handed over as the problem person because I refused to bribe them at the roadside. And I decided to follow the rule of law.
It happens a lot.
Exactly. So I was handed over as the problem person. So obviously, this other officer is waiting for me to be a problem. So I talk to them nicely. They tell me what the procedure is. I say, sawa basi niandikie, because I don't want the same problem if I go down the road to someone else. Because now you've been marked. Your car has been marked. They know that if you haven't taken this abstract, which is yours by law, as long as you report that. Because what it does is it gives you time to repair. You see? And it's the same way. Even if one person, because it's not always that you're going to gel with everyone, but even if one nurse thinks that you're a problem because you ask the difficult questions, and they hand you over to someone else, and the other person sees you're a completely amicable and reasonable human, you see what I mean? Then it's the other nurse that has a problem. So don't be afraid to
ask
say
difficult
that
questions.
Exactly. But also, this is where you, Irene, and patient services come in. Because then, if somebody is not confident enough to approach the medical institutions or doctors or practitioners in that way, then you can step in on their behalf, no?
Yeah, definitely. We do that. Yes.
You're like the lawyers of the medical world.
We are the patient advocates.
Yes.
In case you don't know, we are the patient advocates.
Yes.
And we had a client, they had stayed in hospital. Again, it was someone's dad had been there for over 60 days. They don't really understand what's going on. They just know, you come tomorrow, you ask for the bill, there's a new doctor. But how are all these doctors? Oh, this doctor co-opted Dr. B, Dr. B co-opted Dr. C. And therefore, and then they all come. I'm not co-opting Dr. B and then I step out. No, me, I'm coming to check you for your eyes only. Then Dr. B is coming to check you for your pupil in your eye. And it happens. And all of a sudden, you have all these people coming to do a round on one patient, and they're all charging. It's 5,000 for specialists. So at the end of the day, your doctor's fee is like 50,000. You haven't done anything.
In one day.
And you still have bed charges and all this medication, and they're all writing fancy diagnostics and all that. So you do need a medical person who can also be able to translate all that. Because even if when you're a layperson, when you see the bill, you will not understand what goes where.
Yes.
You may understand a few things, but not everything.
Yes.
Including asking, why does this doctor have to come and why shouldn't this one step out?
Yes.
Because if I co-opt another doctor, automatically it means that there's a way I'm not really adding value to this. I should step off,
of course,
and let this doctor take
it's almost like I've passed you on to that doctor. Why am I still coming to see you?
I have passed you on.
Yeah.
And if we keep passing you on, then that means that place where the patient is not really where the patient should be.
Yes.
You should take the patient to wherever these doctors are coming from, because that's where the specialism is.
And also, if this is a person who can be treated, as you were saying last week, as an outpatient, and you can just visit these specialists once you've been explained to why you need to visit them. Number one, you then eliminate all the expense that is tied to them being in that hospital. Overnight, a lot of expenses. So you save yourself. So if they were there as an emergency and they were there for 5 days, and then you can self-discharge and go home and just say, which doctor do we see when? We will medicate our patient. Tell us which medication to give them, in what doses, at what time. We will do it. We have people at home who can do that. And in most settings, you do have people.
Actually, and with COVID, that's actually happened. So all of a sudden, everybody who was going for surgery was being discharged day 3. Go and finish at home. So why should it be different? Moving forward, why should you stay in hospital for too long unless it's indicated? But you can't be the one to define what's indicated and what's not.
Exactly.
You need that medical person who can help you to guide you through it.
Exactly. And that's where patient support comes in.
That's where it comes in.
So
because
guys,
we help
if you're out there and not understanding why my person is staying in the hospital for this long, we think that they're walking about. They were told that they will have to walk before they leave the hospital. Like, for example, when you go for minor surgery, which is supposed to be a day case,
it's a day case.
You're supposed to be come in today. Like, I've had a couple of keyhole surgeries, and when you have your keyhole surgery, you're supposed to go in fasting in the morning. Having fasted from a certain time the day before, and then come in, get your surgery done, wait a few hours, do your poo-poo, get yourself walking,
and go
home.
There's
no extra you need to stay in hospital.
No.
So when you know that is what you were told, and this is where you come in, you said, what do you expect before you go into the hospital?
What do you expect before?
And if it then goes beyond what you were told to expect, then you should be asking those questions. And if you can't ask, call Irene.
I'll come and ask for you.
You know what I mean?
Noted for asking.
So other responsibilities.
So before we go to the other responsibilities, you said something that I really want to say again. You said something about the older people being vulnerable when they're in hospital. And you having to be there for them. The other way to look at it is actually that everybody who is in hospital is not there because they want to. Well, okay, wait. You're wake up parking
hypochondriacs.
I am coming for that one. But most of the people who are in hospital, it's not because they want to be there.
Of course.
So they're somehow frustrated. And therefore they're vulnerable. So they may not really be the best representation of themselves. In that hospital. So they definitely need you, the next of kin or the guardian. Or, if you decide to then go with our services, one of us, to come and be there for them and really just make sure that everything is going according to plan. Or not. Because being vulnerable in the hospital system is so real. Even the one who is normally very composed. When you're there, you're really just concerned about, am I getting well? When am I leaving? And all
am I going to catch some other germs that I didn't come in with?
And the germs bit. Okay, so your next responsibility, you need to utilize, you have the responsibility to utilize the health system in an appropriate manner. Watu waniandikie sick leave, kuna vile naenda huku narudi. I am talking to you.
Abuse.
Don't abuse the health system.
Watu
wa I am here for a head-to-toe examination because my insurance is about to end.
Exactly.
They cannot possibly find anything with all that.
Yes.
Use it for the right purpose.
Yes.
Don't abuse the health system.
And also remember, if you've paid for insurance, you don't have to use it all. The more you use, the more you pay, because you're then considered as a person at risk. It's the same as insuring a car.
Yeah.
If you insure a car and you don't use your premiums year in, year out, in some countries, your insurance goes down to the point where you pay next to nothing, because they know you've been 10 years without having a single accident.
Yes.
So the more you claim, the more you're seen as risk. And people don't realize this.
Yes.
The more you claim, the more you will pay. Even if you leave this insurance today, insurance companies share details. You see what I mean?
They would know.
Exactly. So when you leave Jubilee today to go to ODM, let's just say those are insurance companies. Jubilee will tell ODM, even though they are rivals, the ODM will ask Jubilee, huyu mtu ameclaim kitu. Kwanza, they claimed their whole premium last year, which means that however much you insure them for, they will still claim. So if your insurance premium was 100,000 for the year, including inpatient, this year they will charge you 150,000.
Yes, because they see you as
a risk.
Yeah, and they're trying to. It's a business for them also. It's not really. Yeah, because at the end of the day they have to break even.
Yeah,
or even have profit.
That's it.
So if you use all your insurance yangu ina expire, wacha nimalize.
Yeah.
Next year, trust me, whoever you go to, you probably get a higher
quote.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's why they ask you questions like, have you ever been a smoker? Have you ever had a child? Have you ever been diagnosed with cancer? Have you ever had backache? Because what they're trying to do is mitigate against, you see, all those things that might happen to you. Do you have history of heart disease in your family? Do you have a history of diabetes? There's a reason why these companies ask all these questions. And the more yeses you have, the more your policy will cost. And the more you claim, the higher your policy will be. It's just as the older you get, the higher your policy. A 20-year-old without any pre-existing conditions will not be charged as a first-time 60-year-old.
That's true. Yeah. So please
utilize it. Abuse.
So that's interesting when you are talking about are you a smoker? Yes. Niligongwa na gari 1952. No. So all these things. So I think someone sitting is like, next time nikiulizwa sema no.
No, don't.
I am not a smoker. Sijawahi kuwa na accident. Sijafanya. So that your insurance goes where?
Down.
Now, let me tell you. Then, out of the blues, because we don't know how life happens, you end up in the hospital.
Yes.
And the doctor has to see you. Please, the toughest thing to do in this world, and whether this is medical or real life, I'll say it, is to lie.
Yeah.
Because your lie has to be consistent. Don't lie to the insurance and then go and tell the doctor the truth. Or don't lie to the doctor and the insurance knows the truth.
Yes.
And if you like moving from one doctor to the next, please keep your lie consistent.
Exactly.
Because if you go here and give this information, and then here you give this information,
and
then they contact your insurance,
of course, which they have
said, I have never
smoked,
had an accident, or I've never gone for surgery. All these things will come into open, and then they will all meet somewhere. And you will still suffer that consequence.
That's it.
This brings me to your responsibility to provide accurate healthcare information.
Yes.
You have the responsibility to do that.
Yes.
Even if you're trying to check kama daktari aligraduate kutoka University of kama aliwana graduate. Siku hizi shule ni mingi. So some people say daktari yule aligraduate University A ni mzuri sana kushinda daktari wa University B. So ukienda kwa daktari unamwambia na mwana tumbo, na mwana mgongo. Then you go to the next doctor, you tell them actually, this is my stomach problem. I've had it for the last 5 years. That information you didn't give this other doctor.
That's it.
So they give you 2 different diagnoses.
That's it.
Then you start saying, oh, the doctors in Kenya,
they don't even know what they're doing.
Yeah. They are not treating us the right way.
Yeah.
We are going to India.
Yeah.
Then you go to India, unafungua roho.
Yes.
Actually, when I was a child, this happened.
Yeah.
All this history, you never gave anybody.
Yes.
Within the Kenyan health system.
Yes.
Then suddenly you have a different diagnosis.
Yes.
And we're all arms blazing.
Yes.
Oh, misdiagnosis.
Yes.
Delay of treatment.
Yes.
Diagnostics from here to Timbuktu.
Yeah.
If you don't give me enough history,
I
will write for you so many lab and imaging requests.
Exactly.
Because I'm trying to find out what the problem is so I can help you.
Yes.
So you not giving information is not really helping you.
Yes.
You have the responsibility to give that information. So granted that we will always have, I mean, if I've been seeing doctors from when I was born, I don't have all those records. I forget. So we are saying you need to have all your information in one place.
Show them the book.
Oh, and that's why we have this.
Let me put it to the camera.
Yeah. That's why we have that book.
Yes.
My doctor book.
Yes.
Where you have all your medical records in one place.
Yes.
So that when you go to see your doctor,
yes,
you can flip through it and give them all the information they need.
Exactly.
So you can cut out a lot of frustration in terms of money, in terms of time. Nobody likes to go for ultrasound. Ukifika huko unaambiwa kaa pale, kunywa glass 6 za maji kwanza, bladder yako ijae ndio tuongee.
That's it.
That's time.
Yeah.
When probably the information you'd have given would have been like, okay, you don't really need an ultrasound.
Exactly.
So let's move on to the next
That's
thing.
it.
So give your information.
That's it.
You have a responsibility.
Exactly. I'm a therapist. And I saw someone in clinic the other day, and she was pregnant. And she'd been suffering quite a bit throughout from secondary school for going forward. She'd been in and out of hospital. She'd had all sorts of MRIs, CT scan, everything. Nothing came out with anything tangible, like this is what is causing it. But every time she went in, she was kept there until the pain disappeared. All they did was give her painkillers and muscle relaxants. Yeah? This person, for a few months, to the point where I saw them, had not been able to bend over and tie their own shoes or put on their own socks. They were early pregnancy. This was a pregnancy to the point where most people don't even know they're pregnant yet.
Okay, very early.
Yeah. So, and she gave me a history, and because it was a family friend, she asked me, unakumbuka tukiwa watoi siku moja nilianguka na bike mpaka mamangu akafikiria ni kama nitakufa. I was like, I don't remember, but that must have been a very bad fall. Now, I don't know how many doctors she would have told about this fall every time she went in, because she's been treated in different counties in this country. But obviously, when they take her in, like really in pain, the doctors, first thing they do is they give you medication to numb it down. Now, by the time you get to go for an MRI, if there was inflammation anywhere around your soft tissue, it's gone. Yeah. Because they take you at the point where already maybe 2 days later,
sure.
when the pain is gone, you're at least on the Jireza. You see what I mean? So what are they going to see on an MRI? They're going to see, maybe they do an X-ray. Obviously, there's no broken bones. Yeah. So where are we going from there? There was misinformation.
Yes.
There was a history. Basically,
the
genesis
of everything is that small thing.
Exactly.
You think,
and by the time she left, 2 hours later, she was walking, bending over, touching her toes. She was like, umefanya? You told me one thing that you probably hadn't told all these medical professionals.
Yeah.
People who are more qualified than me. I'm a soft tissue therapist. These ones are doctors who have done 7 years degrees.
Yes, they have studied it.
You know.
Day and night.
But if you don't tell them the vital thing, then obviously how are they going to treat you?
Yes, this is the part I normally say. I hate to break it to you.
Yeah.
He's a doctor.
Yeah.
She is a doctor.
Yeah.
They're not God.
Yeah.
They can't see beyond what you tell them.
That's it.
And if they want to see it, they will ask for whatever diagnostics.
Of course.
And if all those things don't add up, they will ask for more until they find out what the issue is.
But if it's not done in a timely manner,
yes,
you're going to walk into this hospital, they're going to give you painkillers and muscle relaxants until the time they can move you, and by that time, the inflammation is gone, so they're never going, hawataiona kitu.
Yeah, and then you keep moving from one place to the other. They're not doing it. And I think that's one of the biggest issues. That's why I said when the first interview we did, I told you, I work a lot with nurses.
Yes.
And I sit there and I try to empower them the best I can.
Yes.
But there's always that missing equation. That's how this came up.
Yes.
And as you speak now, I'm thinking, yes, I can tell the nurse, I can tell the patient, get your history and give it to the healthcare provider. So this is me speaking to now the healthcare providers.
Yes.
I know we have a lot of patients to see.
Yes.
I know that we are really short-staffed.
Yes.
And we are working with very little.
Yes.
But if you take an extra 3-4 minutes, you will get information from that patient that will also save them a lot.
Yes.
In terms of time, money, and frustration. So give them a little more time to give you history. And, lighten up a bit so that they can warm up to you.
Exactly.
So that they can feel like they can tell you anything. Because otherwise, we normally wear that face for, if you even smile at me.
Yeah. Yes, come in, sit.
Yeah. Shidagan.
You're like, at that point.
In the lab.
Exactly.
Yeah, so.
And where you say give time, sometimes you don't even need to give more time. Sometimes asking the right question.
Yes.
You see, somebody came to me and said to me, my back hurts. I know 10 of the topmost things that cause backache. I can ask you these 10 things in 2 minutes. Have you ever had a fall? Have you ever been kicked? Have you ever had trauma to your back, your head, your leg? Anywhere that could cause this back pain to this particular part of your back. Yeah. Have you ever injured your shoulder in a certain way? Have you ever broken a finger? So it meant that you were using your hand in a different way, so that it meant that you were using these muscles in a different, so that it meant that your shoulder now hurts. Have you ever broken any bone, even your finger?
Yeah.
Do you see? So sometimes it's just thinking, I don't have time, but can I prepare at least 10 questions for this part of the body, 10 questions for that part of the body?
Yeah.
If you ask those 10 questions in 2 minutes, it will jog somebody's
memory.
Sometimes it's not so much. Sometimes we have to remember, as professionals, as practitioners, as therapists, as nurses, as doctors, when people come to us, they're most vulnerable.
Very.
They're scared.
Yes.
They're uncertain.
Yes.
They don't know what to expect. So it doesn't matter, sometimes you're so nice, but if you don't ask the right questions to jog their memory, depending on what part of the body you're working with. Asking, do you have enough activity, is not enough. Ask open questions.
Yes.
Yeah?
So that they can be able to expound.
Yes. How active are you? Yes? How do you mean? How many times a week do you perhaps take exercise? What kind of exercise do you take?
Yeah.
Explain to me. Tell me a bit more about your week, your daily routine.
Yeah.
Your average day. How is your average weekday? How is your average weekend? In 5 sentences.
Yeah.
I wake up in the morning, I brush my teeth, I get the kids ready, I go to work. What do you do at work? I sit or I stand. Things like that.
It's actually interesting because I'm just trying to think, typical when you're admitting a patient.
Yes.
At the casualty or outpatient, they try to take some history.
Yes.
They'll write it down.
Yeah.
When the patient comes to the ward,
yes,
the nurse takes history.
Yes.
And when the doctor comes to see the patient, they take history. And one of the questions you'll hear the patient saying, "Sinilishaambia ule mwingine." But the funny bit is, all these histories, there's new information.
Yes.
That the other person did not find.
That's it.
So you can imagine that there's always something that we're trying to trigger.
That's it.
So that we put it all together to get as much information as possible.
That's it.
Of course, there's breakdown of communication between healthcare providers.
Of course.
Which is also what we do. We try to empower them to put it together in a logical way.
Yes.
But just remember, you need to give that information.
Yes.
So if they ask you however many ways,
yes,
please Just oblige us.
Yes.
Answer it.
Exactly.
It will save you that MRI
yes.
or that CT scan.
Yes.
Please just answer the question.
Yes.
Yeah.
Ukiambiwa kojoa kwa pot. You know, ama ask, mbona na kojoa kwa pot?
Yes.
You know, why is this? Why are you testing my urine?
Yes.
What are you testing it for? Because sometimes you've given a history that will make them want to test your urine because then they want to check for this and that. You see, sometimes even STIs, things like syphilis, can affect your brain capacity.
Of course, yes.
Some of these things can make you go mad. Oh, no, it's true. All of a sudden, someone is asking you about your sexual history.
Yes.
You clamp down.
And you feel like,
yeah.
Exactly.
No. I don't sleep around. Nobody asked you if you're sleeping around. Nobody is implying that you have loose morals.
Yeah.
Nobody is saying that. All they've said is, and for us also, as practitioners or as therapists, we need to say, I'm asking you this because it could be, and it could have an effect. So before you send me for a CT scan, it's better to ask me, have you had unprotected sex in the last X amount of days or months? Jibu. It will save you 100,000.
It will save you a lot.
You know what I mean?
Yes, and just remember that they're bound by law not to give anybody your information.
Exactly.
And they don't know your relatives.
Exactly.
They only know you.
That's it.
So they will not broadcast it qua billboard.
Yes.
So just give them the right information.
That's it.
So they can help
you. Know, and also what we have to remember, this is digressing a bit, just because you've only slept with one person doesn't mean that one person has only slept with you. And when you sleep with one person, you're sleeping with everyone they've ever slept with.
Oh yes.
So if they on their sexual chart is a family history, and your family hasn't started, don't assume that they don't have that family tree of sexual partners.
Yes.
And for every person they've slept with, they would have been at risk of getting whatever else that person may have slept with. So you may have only slept with one person, but in essence you've slept with 200 people.
Yeah, now that's scary.
It's true.
It is true.
You know what I mean?
It's very true.
So if somebody asks you, say, I've only had one sexual partner, but we've had unprotected sex, and I'm not sure about their history, because to be fair, you're never sure. Someone can tell you, so what's your body count? Mimi ni virgin. You understand? Ama, I've slept with 4 people. Uyu yake ni 400. Ata niambia 400. Ata niambia ngapi? Oh, 10. Because that's more palatable.
Yes.
Yes? I go to the hospital, they ask me.
And those 10 have their other people now.
Even just imagine, you've slept with one person. That person has slept with 2 people. Those 2 people have slept with 2 people each.
Yes. Now the story continues.
Compound that. You're in your 40s. Compound that.
Yeah.
And the average person has had 5 sexual partners. Umefika 40.
Mambo hapo.
You see? So when you're asked a question, don't take it personally. These people are not asking you questions so that they can trip you. No. They're asking you questions so that they can help you. And if you find it difficult, and that's where Irene and her team come in.
Yeah.
You see? Come see them. Tell them, this is my history. Because she's more personable, she's more approachable. This is my history. She'll sit with you. She'll tell you, let's fill this in. Let us fill this in. Let us fill this in. Let us look for all the other information that is missing, so that next time when you go to a hospital, you don't have to talk so much.
Yes,
you can just say,
the book.
This is what I have.
Yeah.
Yes? What are they asking you? Okay, go to this page. Wambie, this is the last time I saw a doctor. This is exactly what I was diagnosed with. These were the tests that were done. And this is the medication that I was given.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Sometimes you get worse because of the medication you've been given. Yes. Side effects.
Yes.
You see?
Yes.
Now you go to another doctor without saying, this is my history. They start treating you as if this is a condition.
Yes.
But it's side effects. All they needed to do was know your history and take you off the medication. Because they know the possible side effects of that medication.
We don't think of going back to that doctor.
Yes.
Automatically we assume, hi, huyo daktari hata ajui kile anafanya. Ati alinipatia dawa, I felt worse. Hapana, ajui kile anafanya. Moving on swiftly. Ukienda huko usemi nilikuwa kule, unanyamaza chini ya maji. They start treating things that you don't even have.
Yeah.
That actually brings me to the last responsibility you have. You have the responsibility to comply to treatment.
Yes.
And and this is, so one of the rights we had said you have the right to refuse care.
Yes.
Refusing care and complying to treatment, those two things are not the same. You refuse care based on these people are not treating me, in a way that, giving me quality of care, or, I'm not going to afford this bill, so I need to move, or they're not respecting my dignity and all that. All that is not about you saying, walisema I have the right to refuse care. Hata hizi dawa staki. Remember, you're still sick. For you to get well, you need to take treatment.
That's it.
And if the treatment is not working, please, before you move to the next doctor, can you go back to the one you had?
That's it.
And just get to understand what happened.
Yes.
Because not all of us will be affected by treatment the same way.
Yes.
I may survive it. Yes. She may not.
Yes.
But we still have to go back and at least get to understand that that's not the issue.
Yes.
If it's another issue, then you'll be like, okay, maybe I need to seek a second opinion.
That's it.
But before you do that, can we at least stay within one course?
Yes.
And try to, get to the final bit.
Yes.
Before we can make that decision.
Yes.
One of the problems we have, especially patients who have chronic illness, is delay of treatment.
Yes.
You know why? Because you move from this doctor, anakuambia hii dawa, unaenda unakunywa siku mbili and you're like, hii dawa kuna vile.
Yes.
Then you call your friend, anakuambia, hai, enda kwa doctor, sijui nani. You move to the next doctor, unapatiwa a different treatment from what you were given there. They haven't started treating your problem.
Yes.
Because you're not even staying the course to see how the medication will work.
That's it.
You move to the next one.
Yes.
And the next one.
Yes.
Until all your money runs out.
Yes.
Then now you fundraise to go where? To India.
India.
Where they keep you there and say, okay, this is the real history which you give willingly.
Yes.
They start you on treatment. Then 5 days down the line, you're feeling better. And you say, you see?
Yeah.
This is where I should have gone in the first place. But what was your responsibility with the first doctor, the second, the third?
Yes.
All these people combined.
Yes.
Did you give them the exact same picture you gave where you finally got what you were looking for?
Yes.
And if your answer is yes, then it's fine.
Yes.
That means they failed you.
Yes.
But if your answer is no, then you are the problem.
Yes.
And we have a big issue with antibiotics. We have a big issue.
Say that again.
We have a big issue with antibiotics.
Amen.
Pharmacies, I'm talking to you.
Yes.
Not all problems are treated with antibiotics.
Not all infections need antibiotics. We are creating a situation. I can say this for the UK because I lived in the UK. When I first went there, I was a nursing assistant. And over the years, I worked there for a few years. And over the years, we've seen infections that can not be treated with antibiotics because people in the past have prescribed antibiotics like Tic Tacs. You see?
Oh, yes.
Yeah? And the problem is, again, every time you prescribe antibiotics, within the same month, you go back for the same infection. Someone gives you the same antibiotic. Number one, it's already been proven that your body is not responding to those antibiotics the way it's supposed to.
Because you didn't finish them in the first place.
No, but even if you finish, and then maybe you get a recurring infection and another recurring infection, should we be looking at the source of this infection rather than...
But you know why we want to look for the source?
Because we want to sell you antibiotics.
You, as a patient, first of all, you're thinking, it's my life. Mimi si liver ni yangu hata nikikunywa sio watu wanasemanga it's my liver even if I drink inakuashia nini
unakunywa antibiotics
hata antibiotic nikikunywa si ni mwili yangu leo niko Kisumu I walk into the next pharmacy nasikia hivi antibiotic you don't tell them that 2 weeks ago you had the same antibiotic with that same problem in that pharmacy in Nairobi they give you you go and take it. You take it for 4 or 5 days. You're like, infection inarudi tena. Ushatoka Kisumu. You're traveling. Okay. You move to the next pharmacy. You understand? So it just becomes a whole lot of, because pharmacy don't have your records.
Of course.
It's not online. And they don't even take your history. Unasikiaje? Nasikia hivi na hivi na hivi. Okay, dawa. And they'll sell you the most expensive antibiotic because you can afford it.
Of course.
Meanwhile, if they gave you Septrin or Amoxicillin, you'll be fine. Exactly. If you really needed antibiotics. But because they're also trying to sell, they'll sell it to you. Zinat, Augmentin, whatever, they'll sell it to you.
Na hapa mbele kidogo, what's going to happen is, one day, you will be really ill and you will need antibiotics. And I promise you, without a fail, they will not work. Your system will be shutting down. And I promise you, those antibiotics will not work. And then your relatives will go around saying how these doctors are useless, how these hospitals are useless, how Kenya is useless, how our medical system has failed us.
Yes.
When you have known for years, anyone in their 20s, 30s, and 40s in Kenya knows that you shouldn't really take antibiotics on a regular basis. You shouldn't take antibiotics unless you really, really, truly need them. Those people who routinely, now I'm talking to people like me who sometimes suffer from throat infections. And I suffered more in my earlier years because I used to smoke. Yeah, I stopped many years ago, but I used to smoke. And when I used to smoke, I used to have a lot of throat infections. Now, had I been given antibiotics for every time I had a throat infection, which was at least once a month, when my immune system was low during my cycle, a certain point of my cycle, I'd be on antibiotics every month. So that's 2 weeks every month. So every 2 weeks, I'd be starting a new course of antibiotics. Cindy? Yeah? So by now, I will have created a resistance. But we live in a world where we now know that things like MRSA exist. And everyone knows.
Or even that, as you were saying, and she said something that's very important. She said, na hapo mbele, the antibiotics will fail.
Yes.
And then when you get admitted,
now
you start incurring extra costs. Ukienda hosi usikie unaitishiwa culture and sensitivity. They're going to take your blood to the lab and try and put it against some antibiotics to see which one works. Suddenly, you've been prescribed for antibiotics that cost 10,000 one vial. And it's because that's the only one that's sensitive. All the others are resistant.
Useless.
And then you say, hey, now they're treating me with this. It's because of the choices you made.
Abused antibiotics.
Remember your first responsibility. Take care of your health. Including this business for antibiotics. Please, don't buy them aimlessly. And fever is not an indication for infection that needs antibiotics. So ukienda pharmacy usiende kuanzia huko niko na fever, niko na so that upatiwe antibiotics. Hapana. Viruses cannot be treated with antibiotics. Unaona corona ilikuja, umesikia antibiotic wapi?
Tunasikia watu wanapewa chloroquine ama malaria.
Unaona? Hawakusema mkakunywa Augmentin.
Exactly. Sasa. So guys, I think today has been really eye-opening for me, and it's really reminded me a lot of things that I should do. Personally, even though I generally really take good care of myself, we've got a question here which says, what of a case where institutions such as secondary school give paracetamol and brufen for pain by teachers? So again, our children being exposed to abusing painkillers and pain medication. Without us as parents totally taking responsibility for it.
So, and I mean, I was in boarding school, so I understand where that question comes from. And it's typically you have school nurse. And the most medication the school nurse has is paracetamol and brufen.
And there was an mimi nilikuwa napewa sana dawa ya kulala mtoje. Piriton. Because I have allergies.
An allergy.
Yeah, I have allergies. I suffer from allergies. And when I was younger, it was very bad. And I went to school in Meru, slopes of Mount Kenya, where there's lots of pollen. And nobody thought that I was allergic to the kind of pollen that was there. So I was constantly dosed on Piriton. You know what I mean? And then Piriton is not your average sort of antihistamine that you want to give a child at 12. No. So subsequently, I was on Piriton, painkillers, and I suffered very badly with gastrointestinal gastric problems. And I suffered very badly until I became adult and started really thinking about how I can repair my stomach. And this was well into my 20s. You see, so yes, carry on.
So it's typical that every boarding school has, a nurse who then, is there. One of the things that is I would say your responsibility then as a parent for your child is to ensure that whoever the nurse is has very good history around your child.
Yes.
Because even if they're going to school, only the asthmatics are known, and it's because they have special diet.
Yes.
Or people with ulcers. All your children need to have some sort of history with the nurse. So that they can be able to intervene when the time comes.
Yes.
Granted, they will give a lot of paracetamol and brufen. In our days, we used to hear that they were treating hysteria. Second time ilikuanga refu bana. Inafika mahali all you want to do is go home. So you're cooking for, you're cooking ideas about how you are going to go to that.
I know.
And say, no more mgongo. Because they can't confirm that you know more mgongo, what confirm.
Yes, they cannot confirm or deny.
No, they can't. Home. So long as nimefanya hivi si mgongo inaniuma.
Yeah.
That is why paracetamol was that. I'm not saying it's a good thing. I'm just saying that, these are the discussions then you need to be able to bring forward as parents in a teachers association in schools.
That's it.
Because it's difficult for the nurse to run just a basic clinic because they're not allowed to have a specialized clinic.
Yes.
So they can't test for things. They can test for malaria maybe and pregnancy.
Yeah.
That used to be a thing. Yes. But these other things they can't test for. So it means that then if they're not going to treat pain because that's what they're trying to do, it means that every child will keep going because they'll have to write a leave out.
Of course.
So you as a parent, you have to decide what are my boundaries. Do I want my child to be let out for every I am having pain kind of issue?
Yes.
Or do you want first aid, which is paracetamol, and then they check? Yeah. But of course, there are boundaries around paracetamol and brufen because it's a blood thinner. But
but also another thing that I can say to parents, and then everyone knows, anyone who knows me or has heard me speak knows that I'm very much against boarding schools. Very much against them. These are prisons that we put our children in, and they come out very damaged. In most cases, most children who've gone to boarding school come out very damaged adults, and we might say that people who've gone to boarding school have had difficulties, so they are more successful. No, they're just more used to abuse, so they're even more likely to being abused. This is only my opinion, yes, but this is something anecdotally that I have seen over the years. They're more likely to commit suicide, for example. I have more friends who committed suicide, who went to boarding school and suffered and even tried to speak to their parents. If your child is constantly trying to get out of that school, ask yourself, why is my child constantly coming home? The doctors can't find anything wrong with the child. Yes. Ask yourself, is it sickness in the body, or is it, and mainly mentally, a lot of sickness that comes from here, then people become sick by being sick here. A lot of our sicknesses are psychosomatic. I am so stressed, so therefore my head hurts. I am so sick, I am so stressed, so therefore I'm going to slouch, I'm going to sit badly so my back will hurt. I am so depressed that I'm going to walk a certain way, so everything from here to my toes hurt. So as parents of a different generation, let us please, and this is, I know, walking away from what we've been talking about, but it's another responsibility, because until our children can speak for themselves at the doctors, it is our responsibility to make sure that they're getting the best care. Napelekeni watoto kwa dentist regularly.
That's a story altogether. Hapo kwa dentist bana. Yes.
Mimi nimemalizia hapo, sasa mimi sijui pale wewe umefika.
Okay. No, hata mimi nimemaliza. I think I have said everything that I would have said about it. The only thing I want to put across, if all this didn't make sense, is as you leave your house, as you leave your office to go to seek healthcare services, you're not powerless. You have a lot of power.
Yes.
But power comes with responsibility.
That's it.
So try to balance both ways.
Yes.
Get to understand, where are my strengths, where are my weaknesses?
Yes.
And when you know where your weaknesses are, it's better because you know then who can help you to navigate with your weaknesses.
That's it.
So please, find your power within all this healthcare business.
Yes.
That is what I'm sending you away with.
And again, thank you so much, everyone who's joined us. Please, 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 if you're finding these segments useful, like the pages, both Patient Support Services, Nurses in Africa, Galactic Productions, all of us who are bringing this to you, like the pages, share them, so that other people may also gain from the knowledge that we have, the knowledge that we are sharing with you. You know, because only in sharing and you know, letting people know what's going on out here, do we grow together? Do we grow a whole community that is empowered and able to navigate the system? Do we compel those institutions, those practitioners who are currently not taking who are currently taking us for granted, do we compel them to do better, to be better, to offer us a better service? And only in doing that, only in bringing your cases that you've had, whether good service or bad service, to people like Irene, can we help to collate an evidential body of those institutions that are doing a really good job. Don't just wait until you have a bad experience to come to Irene. Bring those good experiences as well. Because when we know those doctors who are doing well, we will celebrate them so that other people can go to those institutions, can go to those doctors, can see those nurses, can see those therapists. Yes?
I like that part.
Yes?
Bring the information for the good, the good service you got, the good doctors, the nurses, bring it.
Exactly. So don't just wait until it's bad. Bring the good stuff. Let's celebrate those people who are doing amazing jobs in our communities. Let's celebrate those pharmacies who refused to give you antibiotics when you thought you needed them and told you, enda kwa labu katestiwe kwanza. Let us celebrate those people.
Please find me
Let
that
us celebrate those people who refuse to give you those strong painkillers because now you're reliant on them. Let us celebrate those people. Let us celebrate those doctors who went above and beyond to save you time and money. Because those are the people we want to work with, no?
Yes, those are the people we are looking for.
Exactly.
Please bring them to us.
Yeah? So
send them our way.
Exactly. Asanteni sana for joining. Please again, visit the pages, like the pages, share the information. Let us grow together. And see you guys next week. Thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye.